Yo, what's up guys? It's Radoslav, and in this video we're answering the question of whether you should train Shaolin Kung Fu with Shaolin monks in China. Now this video is kind of a response to a recent video Ranton made. If you don't know Ranton, he's a badass Shaolin guy. He trained for 3 years at the temple, and he recently made a video about how to go there and train. So this video is actually a bit of an extended commentary on what he said, along with my own inputs, having trained Shaolin Kung Fu for 9 months in China. Now, that being said, I trained at a school for foreigners. It was a small school and very different compared to what one would experience at Shaolin Temple. And during my time, I did get to visit Shaolin Temple, and it's true, it is quite a tourist attraction for millions of Chinese people. You go there and you see, literally it's almost like a school in North America where there's 20 or 30 classes at least, each with their own teacher, and there's about 30 students per class, and they're all out on the field training and practicing. And what I want to touch on is something that Ranton said in his video is, yes, if you train Kung Fu in China, you're going to have a memorable experience, but do you want it to be a positive one or a negative one? Because what I'm going to tell you in this video is actually going to dictate a lot on your decision to go. And I get a lot of messages, how do I go there? What's the price? What's the training like? How does it compare? This video is going to help answer some of those questions too. Now again, I do recommend watching Ranton's because some of what I say is just predicated on the knowledge that you understand what he said, but I will touch on it quickly, and I'm paraphrasing of course, so I hope I don't say anything miscorrect because I'm going off of memory from watching that video. But basically, and it is my understanding based on what I did, is that it almost doesn't make sense to go to Shaolin Temple if you have zero Kung Fu experience, zero martial arts experience, if you're out of shape, if you don't run, if you don't train, because it's like, it's a giant school and there's lots of masters. And if you don't speak Chinese, you're not really communicating well with those masters. And if you don't have good potential or strength, why are they going to care to train you? 1, you're a foreigner. 2, you don't speak their language. 3, you're not talented. You're going to go there, you're going to pay money, and you're going to get the experience, but you're not going to be doing crazy Shaolin secret depth techniques, and you're not really going to get a lot of one-on-one time with the master, if any. They're going to show you something basic, and you're going to practice it, and chances are you're not going to have the flexibility or the strength. If you can't jump high, you can't kick high, how are they going to teach you a cool form that's the foundations of what you see in the movies or TV shows, or what you would think of as traditional Chinese Kung Fu acrobatics and wushu? And if that isn't enough, let me give you a better analogy for North America. We all know Harvard is an excellent school. Lots of people try and get there. It's expensive and it's got a lot of prestige, very similar to the Shaolin Temple. Now imagine you could pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, and without writing any tests to prove your applicability at Harvard, you're accepted. You're going to go there, you're going to sit in class, but you're not going to understand all the technical jargon that's going over your head. They're not going to hold your hand and show you 2 + 2 is 4. And on top of that, let's imagine you don't speak English, so you're going to have to get all that information secondhand from a translator who you hope understands what that professor is saying. Because oftentimes translators, they might be able to translate English to Mandarin and English, but they might not understand the Chinese philosophy, the Qi energetics, whatever that the master is trying to give to the student. So if you yourself don't speak the language, it's even harder to get that. Now, don't let me get you down. If you happen to have great skills, you've trained Kung Fu for years at home, you want to expand and go have the experience of a lifetime and train at Shaolin Temple, that certainly is a dope experience. But just don't, because I get a lot of people that message me thinking they're just gonna become killers doing this, but in personal experience, if you're not already a bit of a killer, it's gonna be hard for you to just get that right there, especially with very little attention and having to do everything yourself. Now, what I really did enjoy about my school, and I gotta say, based on looking at websites and talking to other students that came to my school, is that if you go not just Shaolin Temple, but anywhere in China that's a bigger school with lots of people and it doesn't cater to just foreigners, you're still going to spend very little time with the master. It's still going to be a hierarchy, and you're not going to get the same level of training that you would want, which is why I liked going to my school, because it's one master that owns the school. It's up in a mountain. Very rare were there times that there was more than 10 or 12 people at the school at the same time. Sometimes there were 7 or 8, and you're training for 3 hours. Shifu Wang, the master, is there and he's watching you, he's giving you advice, and he's taking you through everything. He himself speaks English, and because of that, he has an interest in foreigners. He wants to spend time training foreigners. He chose this path to train foreigners versus just to stick to training Chinese people. So if you are looking to go to Shaolin Temple, or you have some experience or you're minimal experience, you're better off going to a smaller school where the master can actually teach you. You can share experience from other students who also speak English, in my case. That being said, a lot of the students when I was there, English was their second language. There was a lot of people from France, Germany, Israel, just a whole slew of Japan, a whole slew of people. And so overall, my recommendation of should you train Shaolin Kung Fu in China? Well, it depends, again, to what Ranton said. What kind of an experience do you want? Chances are you're going to get a memorable experience, but it could just be memorable because you went there, you got to train, and get to see everything. Or it could be memorable because you have, cool footage of you doing Shaolin forms with Shaolin monks, and you actually understand it and you look good doing it. And I think you have a higher chance of doing that. I had someone recently comment on a video, he was even suggesting going to train here and then going to Shaolin Temple, which is a much better idea. Go spend a few months, train with Shifu Wang or just a small school where you can actually get attention, you can actually work on your characteristics and expand, and then take that knowledge and move and go try yourself. Take that and then take that knowledge and try and expand yourself at Shaolin Temple and have a much richer, much fuller experience. Barring that, you can train Shaolin Kung Fu anywhere in the world. Chances are your town probably has a Kung Fu gym. You can go learn the traditional forms there, work on your flexibility, work on your strength, your power, your explosiveness, your weapon skills, whatever, and then go to Shaolin Temple. Don't think that you're just going to go there, show up, and in a month you're going to be a badass killer. That's just not the way it works out in anything in life. Again, the Harvard example, any basic working out example, you're not just going to go to Arnold Schwarzenegger and say, I want to squat 500 pounds, teach me. He's not going to teach you anything if you don't already have a basis and a foundation and you've been dedicated for years. That's kind of the level you're trying to hit with Shaolin Temple. Okay, long-winded. I hope this video helps you guys. Make sure to subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one.